All right, we are going to start with just a sec, let me close the door. There we go. All right, we are going to start with a new lesson on integers. So this is for new work starting today. And here we are into April. No fooling, no fooling. I think it's April 6th today or something like that. And hang on a sec. Get that there. It's actually writing on the screen. Good. So we're going to start with introduction to integers. And this is our next unit. And integers are a special set of numbers. Just so you know, when we talk about integers, integers is a set of numbers that goes on and on and on forever in a negative direction. And on forever and ever in a positive direction. But integers doesn't include numbers like negative 1.5 or negative 2.3. It's kind of like whole numbers, but counting backwards from 0. So on one side, if you think about the common model, there's a couple of common models. The common model we have is with positive numbers to the right of 0, going this way, and the negative numbers to the left of 0, going that away. Both are needed when we end up doing work with integers, because without the positive and the negative numbers, we're just dealing with natural or whole numbers. So every positive number, we think about it, I'm going to count in the positive direction, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to positive 5. For positive numbers, positive 5 means the same as 5 without a sign. And every integer has opposite integer. So -1, -2, -3, -4, -5 is the opposite of positive 5. So opposite integers. So opposite integers are things like positive 5 and -5. And when I think about it on a number line, one of the things I like to think about are that the distance you go on a number line in a positive direction is equal to the distance you would go in a negative direction, just the other way. So -5, +5 are opposites. Think for a second, what's the opposite of -3? What's the opposite of -3? That is correct. The opposite is +3. Note, these are opposites, not equal. Okay, make sure you understand they're not equal. 0 is what we call neutral, in the sense that it's neither positive nor negative. Okay, it has no sign. Positives and negatives go, like I said, in an infinite direction. So if we had -215, the opposite of that would be +215. +215. So here's our introduction. Another thing that we like to do when we work with integers is use integer tiles, which I will show you. Different textbooks have different symbols. So a positive, sometimes it's a shaded in circle. Sometimes it's a certain color. in our textbook that we use at school, this guy here, if you take a look at the Math Makes Sense textbook and you head over to chapter 2, it uses these tiles. So in this textbook, yellow tiles are positive, red tiles are negative. So one of the things that's really important is just making sure that you understand what symbols are being used to represent positive or negatives. Very important on different worksheets. So each one of those would be a positive one, and each one of these would be a negative one. So this is an introduction to integers. Later on, we'll talk about the words that are used to represent positives and negatives on the next video. Keep in mind the symbols, the idea of opposites, and also number line. Those are the common things that we use.